Hello, welcome to Breakfast Central, your #1 stop shop for everything informative, insightful, and of course, the latest news in the country and around our great continent, Africa. I'm Benga Abora. You're welcome to Breakfast Central. I'm
Olive Emodi, excitedly sending warm greetings to all the Arsenal fans in Nigeria around the world. It's a pleasant morning to be an Arsenal fan or to be a friend of an Arsenal fan. I guess last night came as a shocker, but a pleasant surprise. 3-0 is what we did not see coming. You know, we never saw this coming.
Against Real Madrid, I mean, come on. You have to give it to the Gunners. But it's not yet over. Joe, do you think it's over?
Joe, what do you think?
It's not yet Uhuru.
Exactly.
You know.
Did you see that 3-0?
But let's be honest.
Honestly, that was
well done, Arsenal.
Pleasant surprise.
Take your flowers.
But they'll be going to the Bernabeu against Ancelotti's Real Madrid. Star-studded Real Madrid. Come on.
I mean, it's a special shout out.
They shouldn't over-celebrate.
No, they should do. They should. See, as an Arsenal fan, you take that win you can get.
It's true.
In this moment, telling them not to over-celebrate in case because the truth is they may not perform. You understand? So now, celebrate all you can. You know, special shout out to all our Arsenal friends. I have some Arsenal friends who I know that today their pride is going to be off the roof. The likes of Udoka, Mairo, Obina.
Do you see the way Arsenal fans slept yesterday?
Yes.
They slept like this on the bed.
In fact, one of my friends says all through this week he can't wait to wear his Arsenal jerseys. He's going to wear one today to the airport. That when he gets there, he will change into. No, he has many Arsenal jerseys. Okay, he buys at least 3 Arsenal jerseys every season. Okay. So he has a lot of Arsenal jerseys. So congratulations to Arsenal. While this victory lasts, enjoy it, and we wish you all the best in your journey going forward.
I hope this victory would lead into them picking the trophy for the UEFA Champions League.
You think?
Yeah, I mean, if they can move on with this same spirit, it would be a good thing to see Arsenal win the Champions League, having not
for the first time in their history. Premier League
for the first time in their history. I mean, Arsenal Champions League, that would be like fantastic. After Chelsea,
but like they say in football, anything is possible.
Anything is possible in football.
Anything is possible.
But anything is possible, not just in football, also in Rivers State. You have been following up with the updates regarding the administration, the appointment of the sole administrator. He's taking an oath, the suspension of the governor as well as the lawmakers. The lawmakers refusing to be bound by the shackles of suspension and taking matters into their own hands, ensuring that
making the best of it.
Exactly, making when life throws them lemons, they're making lemonade. So they've taken this otherwise terrible situation and made the best out of it. Lawmakers are currently in the UK enjoying the spring, you know, the lovely weather, and you know,
enjoying their lemonade in the UK.
Exactly, in the UK. And the important thing there is it's not River State money. They're very clear to specify. Recall that they haven't been paid because of the ongoing
several months
between them and the governor of River State. So the question was not like who was their sponsor.
They don't look like they've not been paid for months. They look well fed. They're all smiles. And we asked that question, who was their sponsor?
I remember I read an excerpt from their Thanksgiving or their press statement where they were thanking their political leader, Nyesom Wike, as well as the good people of River State for standing by them. Well, good news, they were hosted to a celebratory dinner yesterday in the UK by the FCT Minister, Nyesom Wike. And you can see them all smiles and happy.
Wow.
Can we infer or conclude that the FCT Minister was their sponsor?
Well,
since he hosted them.
No, we can't infer because I mean we don't have any clear.
But we can speculate or allege.
Allegedly.
Allegedly.
Everybody think that you must enjoy what you enjoy. Agreement is agreement.
I love it. They look so happy. You know what this thing is giving? It's giving as they sweet us. That's what it's really giving.
How do you think the other faction will feel?
Which faction?
The one that is based in Port Harcourt. Maybe 2 or 3 of them that are left out behind. They are not in the UK.
You guys do that.
They are not in the UK because they don't want to travel.
Do that dance every day.
That's a weekend. That's the dance, right? Okay. But it's a great time for them. But beyond what's happening in the UK, there's also further drama happening in Rivers State. The sole administrator has been on an appointment spree, appointing local government chairman, I would believe. But then the reports we're getting is that the court has jumped in to stop any further appointments. Some are asking, why is he functioning like a governor? Why is he coming and, you know, hiring and firing? Exactly. Yes. It just feels like he's turning things around. Word on the street is that he's destabilizing Signal Ifeda's political structure, is what they're saying in the grapevine. However, you know, there are those who would say he doesn't have the power to do all of that. What's the constitutional power, or what's the constitutional support, or the backing for him to do the filing and the hiring and the presentation of the budget? This same budget that Simfeba could not present to the House, you know, that was a major area of dispute. But the other argument is, if he's to be in power for 6 months, he's to be in office for 6 months, systems and structures have to be put in place. The government has to run. So is he going to do it in a silo?
Well, there's also a question that he did meet a structure there. He could have just worked with the structure.
Which budget would he have used, for example?
Yeah, I mean, after
budget
he still has a budget.
But the budget hadn't been passed.
Yes, but now he has a budget.
And the permanent secretaries.
Yes, I mean, the permanent secretaries as well. So he could have just decided to work with the, you see, that is what you get when things are not done constitutionally.
Well,
everything
he will do what he needs to do while he's at the helm of office.
But then again,
when he leaves, if Simfeba comes back, he will dismantle and remantle.
So this is it's just an ad hoc measure.
It's an ad hoc measure, but is it really benefiting the people of River State?
I'm sure
benefiting them? I mean, they've been talking online. If you go online, they've been saying that they're not really benefiting from this ad hoc process, and it doesn't seem good. It doesn't look good for Nigeria's constitution.
I mean, in fairness, when the governor and the House of Assembly were also fighting at loggerheads, we didn't see much progress in the state because of this. Anyway, what I'm going to say is, Benga, sorry to cut you in. Justice Adamu Turaki Mohammed granted the order in suit number, of course, the number that filed by a Pilex Center for Civic Education Initiative. Funny enough, it was filed by a civil society organization, of course, led by Courage Sirimovu against the sole administrator, and that led the Federal High Court in Port Harcourt to tell him, hey, please stop, you can't do that. You're overstepping your boundary. Yes, you're overstepping your boundary, but we all know where we're going to next from the Federal High Court in Port Harcourt, where we're moving to. Appeal, of course, the appeal from appeal, you know, it goes like that. So, but 6 months is going to run through very quickly. We've already done 1 month, you know, a month down, 5 months to go, and let's see what it looks like. Anyway, away from that story, yesterday there were rumors and stories that some thugs went to the Labour Party office here in Lagos, and they said the thugs were numbering up to about 100 and, you know, above, and they carted away with items, documents, money, and so on. People asked questions: what were the security operatives? How are you sure these thugs came from a different space? And aside that, people are now linking it to what Joe Ajero, of course, NLC president, had said, that they need to take over the Labour Party offices because the man himself, who happens to be the one who has been ousted by the court, in quotes, doesn't want to leave office. He says, no, he's still there. We've talked about this case of recent. I'm talking about what the Labour Party is battled chairman again. So because of that incident yesterday, people don't know if the thugs who came were sent by the Nigerian Labour Congress, or they came out of their own volition from nowhere. But then again, yes, this is the statement that was released by the NLC, and they said, Nigerian workers, genuine Labour Party members and lovers of democracy, be on standby.
Thank God, Allah.
You know, be ready, take courage. We're about to hit the streets and, you know, hit the ground running. That's what
they really did hit the ground running.
Yeah, but yesterday they don't know who hit the ground running yesterday. If it was from them or it was from a different faction entirely. What we see here is a complete dismantle, breakdown, and a complete, I would say, what's that word I'm looking for? Let's say a subtle dismantling of the Labour Party. It's like removing nuts from equipment and the bolts, because it starts to lose, all parts. It starts to lose its strength, its ability to stand, and so on. And that's what's going on in the Labour Party. But that's the story.
There's a danger of resorting to self-help. It's not. You're not in the position. I don't think the NLC is in the position to go and physically remove or take laws into their hands. The young man, Mr. Abure, is only releasing press statements, he's not doing anything, he's claiming to be still be the Labour Party chairman. Right. If you disagree with him, you can go back to the court.
You can go to the court for the execution. Yeah. One, for the interpretation, since what we're starting to see is there are multiple explanations to the court judgment. So go back to the court.
I want to ask you this as a lawyer. Why do we always have multiple interpretations? The judgment is always written in plain, simple English. Is the English different? Is UK English different from Nigerian English? No, jokes apart, I mean, this is a brother to sister.
Because with law is a very technical angle, it's a very technical course, a very technical path, where even in court is why you can come to the court and ask for one thing and then your case can be thrown out because of a technical irregularity. So sometimes it's why the laws would always try as much as possible to leave out any room of ambiguity. That's why they say there are interpretation clauses for a number of these, a number of the laws, and when there's a judgment you do not understand, you can always go back. So in a way just so that, because the truth is people are mischievous. People will always be mischievous. People hear what they want to hear. You tell somebody something, they will interpret what they want to hear.
Like Mr. Abure, regardless of the numbers that are saying this, is not even a game of, oh, do I agree with it, is what the court interprets it to be. Mr. Abure is still saying, look, that interpretation did not say I'm not Labour Party chairman.
You know, yeah, it's the Supreme Court.
Now, the next thing is you go to God.
Yes.
You know, so after the Supreme Court, where do you go to?
God.
Do you go to Vague?
You go to God.
Rather, do you go to Hague or take issues outside the country and to the international community?
You know, I think that the challenge here is the manner in which this has been handled. Again, it reiterates our disrespect for court processes. If our country, if we get to a point where we can trust the judgment of the court and the implementation, where we can trust that when you defile a court order, there'll be consequences for disobeying the court order, then we'll start to see less and less of this. But those who are trying to forcefully take over, I don't think that that's a better approach. You can go to the court for the court to, ensure that there's an execution of the court judgment. I don't think it's well within your power to then say, oh, I want to forcefully go. Even, for example, in landlord-tenant wahala, I don't know that it's the landlord that will go there and be like, you can go to the court. Then the court will then give a judgment and then can help the execution of the judgment.
I really hope Mr. Obama was not at the office yesterday when those guys...
No, he was not there.
But he promised us that they are gallant.
He was not there. He said they are standing tall.
Joe, thank you so much for that security report. We appreciate it.
Okay. Let's move away from that to our
Okay, and I mean, this is what you call supporting each other in love. You know, when you take a marriage vow, you say for better, for worse, in goodness and in health, in lawsuits and in lawsuits, in defamation and defamation. We block you from both sides. Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan is still in the news, whether you like it or not. She's decided to file a 5 billion naira defamation suit on Senator Nwaebonyi. What happened? So News Central granted Senator Nwaebonyi an interview on one of our news programs, and he decided to say things that were not very palatable, defamatory things that you listen to and you shake your head. I mean, any human being that listens or watched that interview would tell. But let's take a listen.
Of sexual harassment.
Accused Reno Mokri of sexual harassment during the time of Goodluck Jonathan as president, when the young man was already in US attending to national issue. But unlucky to her, she didn't know that this young man was outside the country. Upon the slightest provocation, she will come up with allegation of sexual harassment. And I don't know what is wrong with this lady. Does she think that she's the most beautiful woman on earth? Or is it because she's had chocolate color? In my own assessment, she's not among the beautiful women in Nigeria. And it is high time we come hard on her. And why people like us are speaking on top of our voice is not just to protect and defend the Senate president, but to protect and defend her future victims. Even her present husband, she married her out of something like this. She threatened to sue the man and have a letter circulating over the world that the man should pay her 10 billion or marry her. The man had to marry her under duress. So the marriage was under duress, another product of blackmail. I was watching a video of how the father of the first wife of the husband narrated her ordeal when this lady came into their family, destabilized their family, and took over her husband.
All right.
And without going into her character, I asked Senator Natasha, how many husbands has she had in her life at the age of 47 or 45?
I mean, this is classic character assassination, very misogynistic statement. I mean, the whole rap shit is just there. And I'm glad the husband took the legal steps to file a defamation suit. Now she's also filing a defamation suit.
I think our lawmakers should know that they are called lawmakers for a reason. Being a lawmaker simply means that you've accepted to follow the tenets that guides the Constitution, one. Two, even your representation. It matters a lot. And I think it's cheap score for you to, rather than talk about issues, you talk about people's lives.
What does that have to do with Senate processes?
I mean, how does it concern me that Benga likes to eat fufu and eba, in the morning?
Actually, it's pizza.
Okay, pizza, sorry. Did you say pizza?
Pizza.
Okay, pizza.
Okay.
Right. Yeah,
So,
I just wanted to be sure.
He has a right to say whatever he wants to say, right? Freedom of speech is a right guaranteed and enshrined in the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Freedom after the speech, however, I cannot guarantee.
There are consequences.
There are consequences. He has a right to make whatever allegations, which is why there is a court of competent jurisdiction. He's been asked to come to the court, and I hope he has his evidence to prove all that he has said, because, the statements were, like you said, reeking of misogyny, reeking of, it just felt like...
Talk about chocolate color too.
I mean, this is the real chocolate color. If you're talking about chocolate color, this is chocolate color.
Thank you so much.
Is it chocolate?
It's chocolate and caramel.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right, yeah.
Thank you. But we will be following up with that case there. He's been asked by a number of organizations to apologize to Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, not just to apologize, but also to, take that back. It happened here. In fact, I saw a particular request asking for him to apologize on the same News Central, where the husband, the same News Central where he defamed her.
We're opened, Senator Nwaebonyi. We're opened.
We have to pay for airtime.
I mean, we look forward to just join us and let's do this. You see, just to state this clearly, guys, if you permit me, I think the country has been on a standstill, somehow, because of internal issues that could just have been solved with, I am sorry, I moved your seat. Please, Senator, this happened to me too as a Senate President in my time, and I did not act right the same way. So I've played back what happened, and before my colleagues here, Senator Natasha, I am sorry. Please, take it in mind that it happened in good faith. I may not have informed so and so.
And all of this would have been avoided.
I know I made a mistake, so and so. Case closed. Then others who had met with her would have also said, you know what, imagine standing up and also speaking, representing so. We are sorry if we acted in this manner. We'd like to move ahead. We have a lot of things to do for the country. We wouldn't be here.
Absolutely. We would have wasted all this time.
So sometimes I'm sorry.
And then there are layers and layers upon it. I mean, the accusation is not even against Senator Nwaebonyi. He's defending someone that hasn't even come out to defend himself.
Classic case of drinking Panadol for another person.
Exactly. Now the court says nobody should grant interviews again.
Even though that was very obvious.
Undemocratic.
No, it was very obvious who that was targeted at.
Senator Natasha.
No. That one is just in interest of good faith. Like, the two of you should not talk, but he hasn't been talking. It's just Senator Natasha that has been speaking. But this case feels like an onion. You peel one layer, there's another layer there. You keep seeing it layer by layer by layer, and we'll continue to bring you the updates regarding the stories. But these are our wake-up conversations. Let's now share with you our top stories this morning on Breakfast Central.